Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me today. For the next few minutes, I want you to just imagine we're sitting right across from each other at my drafting table. I'm going to step into the role of your architect, and we are going to map out the exact blueprints for a truly ethical, eco-friendly home renovation. We're talking about the materials, the designs, and the specific labels that take a standard, run-of-the-mill house and transform it into a completely sustainable sanctuary.
Are you ready for your eco-friendly renovation? I actually ask my clients this exact question the second we sit down for our first meeting. And I ask it because, honestly, navigating the totally overwhelming landscape of sustainable building materials requires a rock-solid step-by-step game plan. It is so easy to get lost in a sea of greenwashing out there. But today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're going to build your knowledge literally from the ground up, ensuring that every choice you make is genuinely sustainable. All right, let's dive straight into Section 1, the eco-friendly blueprint, and how we actually build that sustainable foundation.
So, at the very heart of our mission here is energy efficiency. Now, in the world of ethical manufacturing, this means developing products and buildings in a way that substantially lowers energy costs while actively reducing carbon emissions and negative environmental impacts. And as your architect, I really have to emphasize this. Ethical energy efficiency isn't just about saving you a few bucks on your monthly utility bills, right? It's way bigger than that. It's about actively shrinking our collective carbon footprint and stopping those negative environmental impacts before they even start.
To make your home truly efficient right out of the gate, we've got to look closely at the design phase. We need to naturally lower the sheer amount of energy required for heating, cooling, and lighting. So how do we pull that off? Well, by utilizing incredibly effective insulation to lock in your climate, proper ventilation to keep healthy air flowing, and, my personal favorite, smart passive solar design. Passive solar is just a total game changer because it uses simple geometry and the sun's natural daily path to warm and light your home. I mean, it's literally giving you completely free energy without plugging a single thing into a wall.
Now, once we've successfully starved your home's natural energy appetite through that smart design, our next big move is to feed whatever energy needs remain with clean power. The goal here is to completely eliminate our reliance on harmful fossil fuels. So whether that means putting solar panels up on your newly designed roof, utilizing wind turbines, or even tapping into the Earth's natural heat with geothermal systems, this step is absolutely vital for any truly ethical build.
Moving right along to Section 2, behind the ethical build, where we'll be following the supply chain.
Okay, so here's the thing about ethical manufacturing. It is a massive, long-term commitment that happens entirely behind the scenes. It's really not just about what goes into your house, it's about how those materials even got there in the first place. You can actually think of a company's long-term environmental supply chain exactly like the sturdy foundation of your home. If they don't carefully combine the right land, utilize cutting-edge green technology, and build highly efficient teams to manage the whole shebang, well, their entire ethical foundation just crumbles. To truly protect the environment, the brands we choose to buy from absolutely have to be in it for the long haul.
And when it comes to construction waste, there's one golden rule we follow. No shortcuts, period. Minimizing waste is just absolutely non-negotiable for an ethical builder. This means a responsible company plans incredibly carefully to recycle and reuse materials wherever they possibly can. And for dangerous or hazardous waste, it has got to be disposed of safely and with total transparency, perfectly aligned with government rules. We simply do not and will not work with suppliers who take shortcuts at the Earth's expense.
So when we're selecting materials for your blueprints, we're actively seeking out companies that put in the hard work to source responsibly. We want builders who avoid materials that harm the earth or, exploit their workers. Instead, they rely on trusted, certified materials like Forest Stewardship Council or FSC-certified wood that adhere to super strict environmental norms. And the best part? They don't just take their supplier's word for it. They go out and rigorously verify that their vendors are actually practicing what they preach out in the real world.
Plus, responsible builders definitely don't operate in a vacuum. A truly ethical company brings the whole community into the fold. They openly sit down and discuss the pros and cons of a project with local stakeholders, and they never hide the negative impacts. They educate everyone involved, from architects like me, to the crew on the ground, right down to the people who will eventually live in the building. On top of all that, they maintain complete transparency with their own employees, which actually helps them effectively manage and control their emission levels.
Okay, let's jump to Section 3. This is a really fun one. Decoding the eco-labels, your renovation report cards. So picture this. You're walking down the aisle of your local hardware store, completely overwhelmed by choices. Here is how you decode things. Think of LEED certification, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, as a rigorous, comprehensive health and safety inspection report card for your building materials. If a product has that label, it means it aced the test, proving it was built to high-quality standards and followed really strict industry rules. Now, on the flip side, think of the Energy Star rating as a strict power diet plan for your home's electronics. When you spot that little blue label on a dishwasher or a light bulb, it means that specific product is hardwired to consume way less electricity. By keeping your appliances on this energy diet, you are directly slashing harmful greenhouse gas emissions.
And that brings us to Section 4, your power as a consumer and making smart choices.
Look, as your architect, I can sit here and draw up the most brilliant, eco-friendly plans in the entire world. But ultimately, you hold all the power when it comes time to actually buy the materials. These labels, they provide trusted, third-party proof that a company is genuinely committed to protecting the environment. When you hunt for LEED and Energy Star, you aren't just looking at some colorful marketing sticker. You are looking at verified proof. This empowers you to make incredibly smart choices that lower your energy use and actively support those ethical supply chains we just talked about. Basically, every single time you buy a labeled product, you are directly funding responsible manufacturing.
By really grasping the deep ethical manufacturing processes behind these eco-labels, you gain the power to vote with your wallet. Every single tile, every window, every new appliance, it's a choice about the future of our planet. Which really leaves us with one final thought to wrap up this explainer. When the dust finally settles on your site and the tools are all packed away, what legacy is your home renovation going to leave behind? Thank you so much for joining me at the drafting table today, and I really hope this blueprint helps you build something absolutely magnificent.